I wonder if you could talk about the importance of like the gut in terms of mental health, because some like mental health, obviously massive epidemic in terms of, our well-being and anxiety levels and all these type of things. And most of us will blame it on stress and external stimulants. But we live in an obesogenic environment, which is, there's so much ultra processed foods around. And this is the easy choice. The easy choice is to eat the ultra processed foods, particularly if we're stressed. And I wonder, it's the correlation between the gut microbiome and mental health. There's loads of links there now. That's
Yeah, no, you're right. It's growing every week as we get more data on this. I think we all knew that. We've always known, and ancient Indian Ayurvedic medicine has always put the gut at the center of everything, anyway, and that particularly that our mental health, and we know about when we're stressed, we get butterflies, we get gut feelings. Exams, you might be running to the toilet all the time, some people. So there's always been this connection between stress and our guts. But the microbiome has really started to explain why that is, because we have in our guts, as well as all these immune cells, we've got all these nerve cells. So if you put them all together, it's the same size as a cat's brain. So, it's our second brain is actually along the lining of our guts. And we never knew why that was, a bit of a waste of nerve cells. But it turns out there's this huge correlation, so that the gut microbes are communicating with those nerve cells all along the gut wall. And there's this big nerve that goes from the gut all the way to the brain called the vagus nerve. And that is another way they communicate. They also produce lots of brain chemicals. So the chemicals that are important for, say, being depressed or happy, serotonin, most of it is made in your gut by your gut microbes and then transported towards your brain, as is other ones called GABA, which are chemicals that are released when you take Valium. So these are natural anxiolytics that your gut microbes produce. So we're finding out more and more that all these chemicals really can interact with your brain and change your mood, change your appetite, and may be responsible for hunger, these hunger signals that many people who are overeating get, and will interact with your food. And there's lots of studies now that are showing not only that probiotics can help things like depression and anxiety, but actually shifting people to a gut-friendly Mediterranean diet has an even bigger effect than antidepressants.
That was the SMILES research. I remember reading about that in New Zealand. That kind of took two cohorts, one that both teenage kids that suffer with depression, and they put one on a high fiber diet, a more Mediterranean based diet, and the other one they gave them, I think it was antidepressants, and they tracked them both over a period of time. I think it was counselling and antidepressants, and I think they found that the food was as effective, if not more.
Yeah, they were all on it. I think most were on antidepressants anyway, but it was in addition to that, and that's but it had got a dramatic effect, because antidepressants work very well in some people, but they don't work very well in many others. And other studies have shown that whether they work or not depends on your gut microbes. And it comes back to this idea that everybody has a unique set of gut microbes. And it means that one size fits all approaches, whether it's through your standard diet or even doses of medication, etc., really often don't apply well. And so we've seen that most of the drugs studied so far have an interaction with your gut microbes. So it explains why some people, don't respond to antidepressants, why some people don't respond to some heart tablets, and even things like painkillers like paracetamol. Some people prefer ibuprofen to paracetamol. It's about the gut microbes, whether they're breaking it down. So we're learning more and more about how important these guys are really in every chemical we put into our bodies.